Welcome to your daily focus for November the 20th, 2020. That's a lot of 20s. My name is Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you. Thank you, truly, for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. I do send it right back to you. Know that you rock. Thank you, truly. So we have the 20 energy today. We can't count the 2020 as a bunch of 20s because it really 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is obviously a 4. But the 20 energy. Now, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that I tell you to stand in that Superman pose for 5 minutes before you start your day. And look towards what you want to have happen. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the day. It can be a goal that you're setting for yourself and seeing yourself walk through to success, through to achievement. I can talk today. This is good. And I recently came across another study on the power pose is what they called it, not the Superman pose, but the power pose. And so they took two test groups, and for one of the test groups, they made them stand in these power poses for 5 minutes. The other test group were to take as much limited space as possible. So they were to crouch themselves like this and hold themselves for 5 minutes. And what they did was they took their saliva, they had them stand in these poses, and then they had them take the saliva, stand in the poses, then they gambled. And then they took the saliva again. And what they wanted to see is if there was any difference in how these people gambled in each of the poses. Did it make a difference? And they did it for 5 minutes. So 5 minutes. We all can find 5 minutes in our day, okay? Try and find it in the morning to really start yourself right out of that gate. But they measured two things. They measured the testosterone and they measured the cortisol. Now, the cortisol we don't want in our bodies because that's depression, that is anxiety, that is fear, that is feeling less than, feeling a lack of, okay, everything negative. The testosterone is the positive group, the strength, the empowerment, the courage. So they found that the people who stood in the power poses took a lot more risks. That was a definite. The people in the negative group took a lot less risk, even less than what normally would be assumed as a reasonable risk to take. They had no belief in themselves or their intuition or their sage wisdom at that point. So the thing that they found that was the most amazing is if you start at 0, okay, the positive group rose in the testosterone by a huge amount. The people in the negative group actually went from 0 and actually went lower. So if you're sitting there and you're all crouched before that job interview, chances are you're not going to get it because you're not going to carry that pizzazz that you naturally, uniquely have for that job. So stand, when they say to have a seat, just stand there in your power pose. And you don't have to make it obvious. You can just kind of stand there and look around at the bookshelves, the plaques on the wall, knowing that you're not really looking at those things, but they think you are. So it's cool. And you'll be more apt to get that, that raise, that bonus, make that first good impression, whatever you want to do. Now, the thing they found about the cortisol, which was really unique, was the cortisol actually went up in the negative group and actually went down. So it decreased. So if you need that energy boost or that I've got this kind of boost, you stand, because it'll actually stand up and stand in that power pose or that Superman pose because it raises the energy. A simple 5 minutes can raise your energy so that you can be strong and empowered going forward each step. Okay, if we do the numerology of the day, I think today is a day where dreams can come true kind of energy. We have the 17, and that's making the impossible possible. And 1 plus 8 is your strength, your courage, your integrity. The 8 energy is about, it always demands an action. 8 is one of those numbers that always demands an action. So we have to put our focus, we have to put our attention towards goals and dreams and desires today and perform some kind of action. And that could be as simple as getting a piece of paper out and just writing down a couple of key points of things that you want to succeed at, some goals that you want to set for yourself, maybe something on the bucket list. Sun is in Scorpio. I think the final day, truly the final day of Scorpio. And the moon is in Aquarius. So I think we're more drawn to the unique. We tend to think a little bit more outside the box. It's a great energy for brainstorming. Group activities, absolutely. And I know that depending on where you are, group activities may be what you think is not a feasible option, but there are things like Zoom and Messenger and things like that where you can all get together and debate back and forth and talk back and forth. So, hey, you can even have show and tell, right? It's like, hang on, instead of saying, oh, I left it at home. Now you're already at home, so you might have it there. So if anything about today, the 2 is kind of a young energy. And since we are thinking outside the box, we might try and say something before we've thought it through. It might be misunderstood. We may not have used the right words to really convey it the way we wanted to. So think about before you speak, I think is probably the best thing that you can do today. And if somebody else is talking, listen intently so that you really catch, and maybe even repeat it back to them so that you are sure that you understood the first time around what they were getting at, what they were meaning, because we could have those misconceptions because we are moving faster than we are thinking. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say for us. Look at this, the 7 of Cups. More and more popular all the time. Are we feeling a little scatterbrained? Are we kind of looking at like, oh, there's so many options and yet there's none that are really available to me? Or, you know, I'd really like to go for that, but I don't really think I could do it. So it's time to really stand back a little bit, I would think, and really think about what you truly want to manifest. You don't want to manifest or go after a goal or a dream just because somebody else wants it or the world in general thinks it's a good idea. It has to be for you. It has to come from the heart. It has to have passion. That's the thing that's going to fuel your desire, fuel the motivation for you to succeed, for you to really give it your all, because this is a time to really put a focus on any kind of goal, any kind of dream. And if we choose too rashly here, we could make the wrong decisions. We could actually grab a cup that has nothing good in it for us at all. So we have to weigh it out. We have to think it through. And maybe we do that by brainstorming. Maybe we start talking a little bit outside the box and say, hey, what if this were, part of it? I belong to a group of people that we get together probably 6 times a year, and we donate. We fundraise and we donate to all the local groups. If they're helping people, then we give cash donations. Usually it's cash, although we might do our own food drives or clothing drives or toy drives or whatever. And so I work in conjunction. And because we thought outside the box this year, because we couldn't do our regular fundraising activities because it all counted on everybody showing up and spending the day and spending, opening up their wallets. And obviously we couldn't do anything like that this year. So we really thought outside the box. And we looked at, we just kind of did our year end, kind of where are we at. And we found that we had donated 95% of the funds that we donated the previous year. We had, we just fell a little shy. because we were thinking outside the box. So maybe we were using that Aquarius moon every time it came around, but this is a time to think outside the box and say the what ifs, because the 17 energy is also with us, telling us that we can make the impossible possible today. We can have that revelation. We can have that aha moment. We can have that epiphany. The magician, I say no more. I told you it was a magical day. When the magician shows up, and he's especially when he's in the middle here, your wish will be granted. So it's about thinking about positive. It's about thinking about what you really want to manifest in your life, transform in your life, move towards in your life, and asking of it, and then expecting it to show up. And then going on and thinking of more wonderful things to create in your life, because now you've asked for it, you know that's going to show up. So just say, it is so. And then look to the next step after that. You know, have you ever sat in the restaurant and you look at the appetizers and, well, what do I want to eat and whatnot, and then it's like, oh, they have desserts, right? Because you've kind of made up your mind now on the appetizer that you want. You've made up your mind about the main meal that you want. So there's no sense in going back over it, reordering it. You look towards your dessert now. Will I have room? Do I have to? Maybe I'll take some of this home so I can have dessert, and I'll have this for my lunch tomorrow for work or something. You know, it's like, or going in and ordering a salad. I use this one a lot. You go in and the waitress, excuse me, I need a salad, and she goes, I'll be right with you. Just have a seat. I'll get you a menu. I don't need a menu. I know what I want. I'm in a hurry. I want a salad. Can you get me a salad? So she comes over and she says, okay, a salad. Anything else? Nope, just the salad. I told you, it's salad. I want the salad. And off she goes. And you're sitting there and she walks by and nothing. And you go, excuse me, did you hear me? I need a salad. I need a salad now. Yep, yeah, I placed the order. Don't worry about it. And you're getting impatient. And you're looking over where they're cooking and you don't even see anything green flying up in the air there. So you know they're not making your salad yet. And you go over there and you're like, are you making my salad? And they try and explain that they've got 2 or 3 orders, but they will be getting to your salad. Do not worry. When the time is right, you will get your salad. And yet you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how long this is taking. Every time the waitress walks by, you're like, my salad, my salad. We don't do that when we go to a restaurant. We sit down, we ask for a salad, and then we grab something, or usually our phones, to amuse ourselves until our salad appears. We know it's coming. And yet we doubt when we ask God, our angels, our spirit guides to come into our life and help us, to aid us. Now we have to do the work, right? We're going to have to pay for that salad. We're going to have to actually order the salad. We're going to have to go to the place to get the salad. But all in all, the salad is on its way the minute we order it. And so we need to understand, we need to start to grow that belief that when we ask for something, it's already on its way. So now it's time to say, okay, when the salad shows up, I'm going to need utensils, or, when the salad shows up, I'm going to need to stop over here, or I'm going to go to work, or I'm going to go home, or, you're already thinking of the next thing you're going to do and when you're going to eat that salad, right? Okay, let's see what our third card is here. We got the Ace of Wands. Beautiful cards today, huh? Ace of Wands, knowing how to bring in that balance into that stability, knowing how to separate work from play, and bring in and put boundaries. I heard boundaries, understanding where the boundaries need to be. You work, but should they be asking you to take work home with you? Should they be asking you to do the overtime? Do you want to do the overtime? Is there a reward in the overtime? Does it bring in value into your life? Because if you work, eventually you're out of balance, right? With your social life, with your family life, with your hobbies, maybe your spirituality, maybe that's cutting in, you're taking a shift, and therefore you're not going to the group that you connect with to raise your spirituality, however that may be for you. It's about thinking things through, about where there's balance, where there's imbalances, how to bring in the stability, how to bring in the feeling of contentment that you've got this. Because when we look at one area of our life, we do always have to look at all areas of our life in order for that true balance to really be with us. Let's get a mantra card. We won't shuffle the book in there. The book is almost identical, so, and I got old eyes, so. Okay, our mantra card for today is knowledge. Seek knowledge. It's back again. I love this deck. It always does this. It keeps a theme going for like 2 or 3 days, or it'll skip 2 days and then it's back in again. Knowledge. Grow your knowledge. Grow your wisdom. Grow your understanding. This is a day, this is a day of being a little curious. This is a day of saying, I want to have that relationship that lasts 50 years or longer. Then go and talk to somebody who's had a relationship 50 years or longer, or several different people who've already walked that step, already walked that path. So they can tell you some key points that you don't have to learn yourself. They've already done the hard work. Maybe you want a promotion. Maybe you want to start helping out in the community. Maybe you want to learn more about spirituality, or tarot cards, or astrology, or numerology, or butterflies, or trees, or building a house, or making flower beds, or whatever it is that you want. Go out and seek the information. And then when you ask the questions, listen intently to the answer and try and repeat it back. I keep getting this repeat it back so that you know that you got exactly what they were trying to give to you. Our mantra today is seek knowledge. I don't remember what the mantra was, so obviously I didn't do my mantra. I have a different mantra, actually. So I have a video out there. I got quite a few different little videos out there. But one is the new Moon Affirmations. It usually comes up. I notice YouTube puts it up there. Now, if you listen to it every day, I thank you. Thank you truly. But what I would prefer you do is grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and write down some of the affirmations that really touched your heart. That that by saying that, it will automatically help you move forward. Or you need to raise your belief in yourself of that, because it's within, but so often it gets second place or last place. And write down a couple of affirmations that you can say on a regular basis throughout the day. Put post-it notes everywhere with the affirmation on it. Whether it's the bathroom mirror, or the microwave door, or the fridge door, or the rear view mirror, wherever you look a lot, on your TV, on your computer screen, on your tablet, put that sticky note in place, okay, of an affirmation that you want to say over and over again, because as you say it over and over again, you will find that it starts to turn into a true statement about yourself. And then start changing it up with new affirmations. Okay, knowledge. Knowledge brightens my horizons for the future. Knowledge rises, knowledge brightens, brings in the light. Knowledge brightens my horizons for the future. We'll get an animal card. So you might find some unique ways of going forward, some very original ways of going forward, non-conventional ways of going forward, in order to bring in that success, that happiness, that joy, that stability, that love. Deep rest. We haven't seen the little mouse in so long. Deep rest. When I first got this deck, that used to be one of the cards that came up all the time. It seemed like at least once a week we were being told to just take some time for ourselves. Lazy, sleep, rest, and meditate. Rest is not idleness, and to lie sometimes on the grass under the tree on a summer's day, listening to the murmur of water or watching the clouds float across the sky is by no means a waste of time. And trust me, my big weeping willows. Now I've only got one really left, down at the creek, but I would do just that. And you'd watch the birds dance in the trees, and as the tree aged, woodpeckers were more apparent in it, and so that was always a cool thing. Um, the ducks, they come and they land, and the egrets and the Canadian geese. We have carp. So early in June, so in order to find each other in the water, what they do is they'll fly up, and then they'll body slam. They'll body slam the water, and it's just this huge crack. You hear this explosion because they're kind of big, not whale big or anything, but big enough for our little creek. And so that's how they find each other. And then, you hear the frogs, right? The frogs do the same thing. They do the croak so that they can find each other. So you hear these frogs talking back and forth. I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here. So it's not laziness and it's not idleness. It's that sometimes it's the healthiest thing you can do is connect with nature, to ground yourself in nature. Watch those clouds go by. Mouse says it's time for you to make time for laziness. You don't have to be constantly on the go. After all, that is how you become run down. Spend a little time each day or week doing something that you enjoy that is completely frivolous and fun. It could be just an afternoon laying in the hammock, reading a book, watching your favorite old movie, or playing with the kids. This is a time to restore your spirit. Sometimes rest doesn't necessarily have to be sleeping, but just quieting your mind. Take some time grounding yourself. Take a yoga class, garden, fish, spend time in nature. Spend at least 10 minutes a day meditating and just being in the moment. And you don't have to physically be at your happy place to go to your happy place. It can simply be within your mind. And the more you practice, the easier it does become. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.